More than 1,300 British soldiers fell in a single afternoon at Isandlwana, and yet, nearly a century and a half later, that battlefield still speaks louder than many modern parliaments. Dust rises where courage once stood, and memory walks beside every visitor who comes to listen. Today, as King Zulu and Premier Enchili return to that sacred ground, they are not just honoring history, they are reopening a conversation about unity, identity, and leadership in South Africa. Stay with this story until the end, and don't forget to subscribe, because what unfolds here is not just about the past, it's about the future we are quietly building together. At Isandlwana, silence is never empty. It carries the echo of shields clashing, the discipline of Zulu regiments, and the shock that traveled across the British Empire when news of the defeat arrived in 1879. What makes this moment powerful is not only remembrance, but revelation, how an African army, underestimated and dismissed, rewrote military history in a single day. King Zulu's presence there reminds the nation that legacy is not inherited only by blood, but by responsibility to protect its meaning in modern times. When Premier Enchili stands beside the king, it sends a message larger than protocol. It signals that heritage and governance are not rivals, but partners. Isandlwana becomes more than a battlefield. It becomes a classroom. Every speech, every wreath, every moment of silence teaches South Africans that leadership must remember before it reforms. History does not demand tears, it demands understanding. The commemoration unfolds like a bridge between generations. Elders recall stories passed down in whispers, while young people watch with curiosity, trying to connect their present struggles to battles fought long before smartphones and highways. The king's call is subtle but strong. If warriors once stood together with shields, then citizens today must stand together with purpose. Unity is no longer a slogan, it is survival. There is something symbolic about honoring Isandlwana in a nation still wrestling with division. The same soil that once absorbed conflict now absorbs prayer, reflection, and renewed promises. Premier Enchili's words echo that transformation. Remembering the past is useless unless it guides today's choices. A nation that forgets its battles often repeats them in different forms. As the ceremony continues, tradition and democracy quietly shake hands. Cultural regiments march beside state officials, proving that modern leadership still needs ancient wisdom. King Zulu does not speak only as royalty, but as a custodian of national conscience. His presence turns remembrance into responsibility, and responsibility into resolve. This is why moments like Isandlwana matter more than ceremonies. They reset the moral compass. They remind leaders that power without history is blind, and history without unity is fragile. If you're finding meaning in this story, make sure you subscribe and watch till the end. Because what King Zulu and Premier Enchili are building here goes far beyond speeches. It touches the soul of South Africa itself. Beyond the cameras and crowds, Isandlwana whispers lessons about courage under pressure, discipline under chaos, and leadership under fire. The Zulu victory was not luck, it was preparation meeting conviction. Today's leaders face different enemies: poverty, mistrust, division, but the strategy remains the same. Stand together, move with purpose, and never underestimate collective strength. As the sun lowers over the hills, the legacy of Isandlwana feels less like history and more like instruction. King Zulu's call for unity is not ceremonial, it is directional. Premier Enchili's participation is not political, it is symbolic. Together, they are saying the nation must remember where it came from before deciding where it is going. And as this story closes, one truth remains steady. Isandlwana is not finished speaking. Every generation must return, listen, and choose whether history becomes a burden or a guide. If this journey through legacy and leadership has moved you, subscribe, stay with us, and watch to the very end, because the next story we tell may shape how you see your nation, your leaders, and yourself.